So sorry about that. I didn't want to stop where I did. I just needed water so badly. So I was talking about balance between black and white, darkness and light, and how there really is no evil or evil figure or Satan in paganism. Now, it shouldn't suggest that we don't believe that there's evil in the world, because of course there is. There's evil, there's badness, there's darkness, even though darkness may not really even be bad. It's just part of nature. Like winter, that's considered darkness. A lot of people, and even myself, would say, if there's evil, why should we give it power? By giving it a name and calling it Satan, that's giving it power, that's acknowledging that it has some sort of authority. Why do that? Now, there is badness and there is darkness, and we do acknowledge it. You know, there's the darker goddess Caradwen. She's a good goddess. She's positive. However, she does represent the darker elements of nature. She represents death. We call on her during Samhain, which is the holiday to honor the ancestors and kind of lead us into the darkness of winter. So we don't have evil gods. We just have gods that represent the darker elements of nature, like Caradwen. Excuse me. And also just to note that Satan is a figure in Christian mythology and Christianity. I know a lot of people say that, you know, Christianity is the end-all be-all, and it's the truth, we're Satanists. That obviously is not true. So we may not be able to argue one way or another with a fundamentalist who says that we worship the devil whether we realize it or not, but I'm pretty sure that most of you watching will understand what I'm saying and actually understand that we do not worship the Christian Satan when we don't have one of our own either. Now, the old ways. We've covered, you know, where in the world the old ways came from. We've covered where we're drawn to them. But really, what are the old ways? What do we really specifically do and believe in? That's a very big question. We have holidays, our own holy days. Some of them are even very relatable and parallel to Christian holidays, which are the Christian holidays' parent holidays, like Easter. Look at some of the Easter traditions: painting eggs, bunnies and chicks, and like baby animals. It's a springtime holiday. Where do you think all that came from? It came from the pagan holy day, Aostra or Ostara. Ostara is a Scandinavian goddess of fertility in springtime, and her symbols are eggs and bunnies. It's interesting to look at this historically. Same with Yule and Christmas. Yule is Yuletide, or the winter solstice, which is December 21st, and it honors the rebirth of the sun. There's lots and lots and lots of shared symbolism or borrowed symbolism and stories and practices as well. Christmas trees, Yule trees. The idea of the solstice tree came from the Germans. Sharing gifts, I think, was everybody. The rebirth of the sun, again, everybody. So those are the old ways. It is bringing back the practices of our pre-Christian ancestors, wherever they lived in the world, wherever we're from in the world. It is believing in gods that are in nature, gods of fertility, or goddesses of fertility, home and hearth, gods and goddesses of the different seasons or holy days like Ostara, or Lu, which is him, for Lunasa, which is an August 1st harvest holiday. It is seeing ourselves, for the most part, as being equal or one with nature, as recognizing different spirits and different beings represented in nature, such as fae folk or fairies, or the she folk. Not Tinkerbell fairies at all. Different, acknowledging that mysterious things in magic exist, such as reincarnation, we've lived past lives, paranormal things exist, different mysteries like that. Are we alone in the universe? What happens when we die? Granted, a lot of pagans aren't fearful of death because we have different ideas and beliefs on the death and the afterlife. Like I mentioned, reincarnation, much different ideas of heaven-like places. We don't even have hell. Therefore, most of us aren't really even afraid to die. It's not because what happens when we die we're terrified to die, because what if we go to a really bad place? We don't have bad places. We don't believe in these places of ultimate suffering and fire and pain. We don't have those. So over the generations and over with our ancestors, since we got those beliefs and practices from them, generations and generations and generations have had these practices with no fear of hell or no fear of the fire or eternal pain. We don't either. The Celts believed that when you died in this life, you went to another life, and then when you died in that life, you came back here, and it was just back and forth, back and forth. That makes sense to a lot of us. It's not that we want to reject Christianity as if Christianity were the end-all be-all. We believe differently, and for those of us who believe differently, there are religions and practices and faith traditions to fit what we believe. People who discover paganism for the first time go, oh my god, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I believe. It's not the other way around. It's not that, well, this is the religion of my parents, and this is the right religion, and this is what everybody believes, so this is the truth, I have to believe it too. For us, it's the opposite. Find what you believe. Don't just believe the religion of your parents or what you've been told is the truth. You have to find your own by what you believe yourself. Oh my god, it's hot. So I do believe that this has been a pretty successful update or redo or renovation of my very first video, The Old Ways Are Alive. If I think of any other topics to bring up, I probably will over time. I've been reading a lot of interesting books lately, books on our ancestors' practices and the matriarchies of our ancestors and how they changed and got corrupted. I'm reading about new books I've got on witchcraft and new books I hope to get and start soon. So, I will see you all very, very soon.